do another get ready with me. You know, I got like stuff on my mind and I figured I could just spew it out. If you care to listen to what all is on my mind, let's keep watching. If you don't, I apologize. So today I've already got like my foundation, my powder, my highlighter, my bronzer, my contour, my eyebrows on when I realized I just need to talk to you guys. So I'm going to be using the Blush Nudes palette today and just playing around. I'll probably use the mauve colors because I'm wearing like my all-time favorite shirt in the world. I love this color. I wish I had more clothing in this color and I cannot find it anywhere. I'm probably going to use my base to be this mauve color. I'm not sure yet if I'll be using the gray. It'll be this one with either this, or this. Maybe this. I got this for 10 bucks at Walmart. I'm using my Eco Tools brushes and I got those for 7 bucks as a pair at Walmart. So I started this week on a clean eating diet. I started Sunday, today is Wednesday, and I'm doing really well. A lot of times when we start these new diets, we go through what we call detoxing, and that's where like we feel like crud for a while. Every time I do this clean eating diet, I feel like crap for a week. And I think I looked this up too the last time I did like this complete clean eating. I looked up if detoxing is really just all up in your head. I have gone many days where like I don't eat sugar, I don't eat carbs, or like very few carbs, and I feel fine. But like the moment I draw attention to it, then suddenly it's like, oh my gosh, I don't feel good. I have this headache. Look, I've got the shakes. Oh no, you know, I'm so tired. Like, could the detoxing all just be in our head because we know we're changing up things? But I've been watching at night, you know, before going to bed. My husband and I have been watching on Netflix The Great Food Truck Race. And that is the worst thing to watch when you're trying to eat clean because the food these people make. So we've been watching that, and I just have to say that if you are at all on a diet, like, and this isn't really a diet, I do this to reset my body and to get me back on track, because I fail at staying on track, and I know this, and so I get super strict with myself, and then I will slowly allow myself to be less strict until like I've completely fallen off the bandwagon, and then I go back to being strict. And I have to do that for my blood sugar. I am hypoglycemic and my blood sugar tends to drop, and then when it drops and so I have found that when I eat really clean, my blood sugar maintains itself so much better than when I eat junk all the time. It's like kind of a no-brainer. So I do this for me, for my body, and to just kind of help me go back to being strict because I am lousy at being strict. This kind of helps me reset and helps me like refocus, so that's why I like it. So one thing that's like been on my mind, and it was like heavy on my mind a little while ago, but it's not so much now, is the difference between, and this, like, let's just go way off from the food truck race in clean eating, and let's go off on this tangent here, is the power of love and fear, the opposing powers of them all. Yeah, I've been listening to some podcasts, and I have been reading the Bible. I started reading the New Testament, and how much love is such a powerful force, and yet fear is also a powerful force. And I've thought about how in my life, how I have reacted to both love and fear. And I have found that both have controlled me. I have found that when I feel love, as anyone does, that I see that I'm not so bad, and I have this faith in myself to grow as a person. And I think there is, you know, growth that can happen also in fear. I've heard of many people who become successful out of fear. Out of the fear of like, I'll never be what my parents were, or I'll never live in poverty like my parents did, or I will never have this one set of job, or I will never be in this status that my parents, grandparents, my friends, everything were in. I don't know if that's necessarily fear driven as much as it's just, maybe it is a love for yourself to say, you know what, it stops here, and I'm gonna change the game of my life, and I'm gonna be the game changer for my future. It could be that you grow and you expand with love, but in fear you grow too. You don't feel the confidence that you feel when you grow in love. And I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, write it all down below. I had this like aha moment a little while ago where I realized that I no longer wanted to live in fear. And I realized that a lot of the things that I have done in my life have been out of fear. And I look back and I think, well, that kind of sucks that I spent a good majority of my life doing things out of fear. A fear that I don't even know is real. A lot of these fears I am finding for myself, and it might be different for other people, are made up, are fictional. They're not even real. They're like just literally like they talk about the demons, you know, the demons that like hang on ya, you know, kind of a thing. And it's kind of the whole, that fear will control you. And I read this quote in a book, and she says this one quote that I read several years ago that I knew was going to change my life forever. And she said, when you no longer believe in something, it no longer has power over you. Wow. So suddenly these silly things that I used to fear, when I finally looked at them and said, you can't control me anymore, it was like shackles being taken off of me. And I then have found when you remove the fear, that there's a lot of love. And I found too that when you give people a lot of love, a lot of that fear can be removed. I guess I'm wondering if any of you guys have noticed this, the power of fear and the power of love. And I have friends all throughout my life. I'm not just talking about the right now friends, because I know some of you guys watch my videos. I have talked in great lengths with many friends all throughout my life, and in thinking back now on these friendships and on the things that we discussed growing up, how much fear there was, and how fear kept us in check, but fear hindered us from like true personal growth. And it was like we were allowed personal growth up to a limit, and then after that's fear. I have realized that that is not an okay way to live. That we are constantly feeling like we have to be in check and to be within a certain area, because only in this area is where you can grow. After that, it's like scary no man's land. And that's frightening, because I feel like that makes a lot of people hide their gifts and hide their talents and hide who they truly are. I am one who believes, you know, and I'm going completely off the wall, so you can think whatever you want. I am one who truly believes that if you follow your heart and if you follow what you literally feel is like 100% best within you, and if you strive to just be a good person, that you are as close to God as you'll ever be. If you just turn inward and follow your truth, the truth that lies within your own heart, that you are as close to God or the universe or whomever you believe that higher power is than you'll ever be, because you are following what you are made of. So I guess I'm seeing now, you know, the, albeit unintentional, I hope it's unintentional, control that people give fear. I absolutely love the friends in my life who have taught me that fear is not okay, and who have opened my eyes to how much fear has controlled me. You know, I think of the game changers. You know, I read this book about how we are predestined to do what we already believe we deserve, you know, and that's why there's a lot of like the cycles of abuse continue, and the people who are poor always have poor kids who have poor kids, and or those people who are always rich have rich kids, or people who always attract a certain kind of person, you know, it's just because they believe that's all they deserve. And I've mentioned that a little bit on my channel. But I read in this book about the game changers that are in our lives, and they said a lot of times we attract X, Y, and Z because that's what we feel we deserve. We feel that we're only good enough to get this, when we don't realize that we can have anything and everything that is on this earth and that is provided on this earth by God. It says too, though, that there are people who are the game changers and who change that cycle, who end that cycle of abuse, who end the cycle of pain or of negative belief of oneself. I am one who I don't like feeling like I can only reach this level in life. I guess I want to know that I can not only reach this level, but I can reach all the way out here, and as high as I can go, everywhere. I want to be able to achieve it all, and I spent a lot of my life just living in fear and letting fear say, but you can only reach this high and this much. Kind of like a cage, and I don't think that's okay, and I don't think that's what God has intended for us, and I don't think that's what those who truly love us intend for us either. I see these posts on Facebook over and over and over again about the things that you should say to your kids daily. It was like, you say to your kids, I love you. You make me proud. This makes me happy that you do this. And all these encouraging things, which come from love. It should never be this whole, you did this wrong, and why can't you improve, and you always disappoint me when you do this, because you don't want your child to believe that they are stuck in that moment where they're like, oh crud, I made mom upset. I'm a terrible person. That isn't how we should grow. I understand our kids will do things wrong, or our friends will do things wrong, and to call them out on it. And I know there are plenty of times when I get after my kids and I'm like, okay, I want you guys to know I love you. There is nothing wrong with you. You are still incredible, and you're still my favorite little, like I call my kids my favorites. I have a 12, 10, and 8-year-old. You're still my favorite 12-year-old. You're still my favorite, I only have one daughter. You're still my favorite daughter. Like I do the whole, you're my favorite little boy whose favorite color is this, or whatever. Like I try to make them each individually feel like a favorite of mine, because they are. I understand that being a mom, that I'm not only a mom, but I am a teacher, and I am to teach my children how to be the best person they can be when they leave this house and enter adulthood. And I hope I'm on the right track on that one. I love my kids, but I always worry that I'm doing it wrong. We try our best. We really do, and then we just leave the rest to God. I do feel that love is so powerful, and love is so freeing and liberating, while fear keeps you closed in. And it makes me sad to know that I know of people who live constantly in fear. I think so much about the everything. I think about the past, the present, and the future. I think about the past and how that will affect the future. I think about the present and how that will affect the future. I think of everything. I think of the universe. I think of all that stuff. And I'm Christian, of course, and so I think a lot in the Christian way. And I think of Judgment Day. And I always think of what God would say to me, or what Christ would say to me, because he'll be our judge, and have him say, you did it right, you did it good for you, you read your scriptures, you worshiped me, you talked of me, but lady, why did you live so much in fear? I gave you everything you needed. Why did you feel like you were only worth this much and this much? Why didn't you feel like you could reach your full potential, the potential I gave you? When I think about the person I am, I feel like I can't touch the lives of others, and even my own family and my close friends, if I am not striving to reach my full potential. And in every way, finding all my talents, finding all my gifts, helping people find theirs. So that's kind of what's on my mind, the things that chip away at my brain. I am curious to know what you guys think of love and fear. And I'm not even doing my makeup. I'm just sitting there and just talking to you guys. I'm trying to debate whether I should use a third color or not, or if I should just call it good. Part of me is I put the swatches on the back of my hand. I'm using this color right now, but I'm should I come in with the black, or should I come in with a gray? Maybe I'll use the tiniest bit of black. Yeah, I would love to know what your thoughts are, and I would love to know if you overcame your fears, and whatever fears that is. You know, I have a silly story, and I know this might be really a stupid example of overcoming my own fears. I used to be so scared of spiders. I remember back like in the day, back like 20, how old am I? 20, 25 years ago. We used to have these tall ceilings in our house, or maybe it's just because I was short, they seemed so tall. And my brothers made these little guns with a block of wood. You put a nail on the end, and then you put a clothespin, like a, you know, an opening and closing clothespin, the one with the spring in it. And they would hook a rubber band, put it up to the clothespin, and then we would reach, and there would always be like the daddy long legs up in the corner. And they would reach, and we would aim, and then we would hit the rubber band and kill these spiders. And that was a lot of fun, actually. You know, I don't know, maybe that's inhumane of me. But so that's my experience with spiders, was that like, I didn't touch them, but hey, I'll shoot them with a gun, with a little rubber band gun. I wasn't any good at the slingshot, but that gun thing was super cool. I would see the random like daddy long leg all over the floor, you know, and crawling on the floor, and I would like jump a million feet. And I carried that with me, that fear, you know, just that typical fear. I remember we bought a brand new house before we moved here to Texas. So we didn't really have like spiders. We did have a scorpion or two. That was lovely. Like knowing that scorpions are falling out of my vents into my laundry room. I have another story about scorpions. I stepped on a scorpion back when I was like 8. Stepped on a big old one. Almost got like stung by it. That was fun. It was in the tall grass. I do not like scorpions at all. Like, you can't make me like them. Will never happen. Hate those things. We moved here after living in this brand new house, and before we lived in the house we lived in apartments, and we never really worried about spiders or about bugs much. And so we moved from Arizona to here, and we lived in a different house than this. And that house, like, so we go from a brand new house to a 40-year-old house that was not at all taken care of, and it was not what we thought it would be. And that's another story for another time. I have all these like different little snippet stories, but one thing that this house had was so many spiders. And these aren't the daddy long legs. Like, the spiders here are different. There are some daddy long legs, but they're like the bigger bodied spiders. And I remember just telling myself, lady, you gotta get over this. This is stupid. But this fear of I'm gonna be surrounded by spiders for a long time if I don't do something about it. And of course my husband was working. I couldn't just like wait around and then keep spiders under cups forever. So I finally just had to say, I can get over this fear and I'm gonna get rid of these spiders. And sure enough, now spiders don't freak me out so much, surprisingly. I have seen some huge freaking spiders and they don't bug me anymore. I mean, yeah, I might jump because it's like, whoa, what is that? But like, other than that, I'm not as scared as I used to be. And it's one of those things where I had like faced the fear and then realized, oh, this is a stupid thing to be scared of. That's kind of what I did with a lot of things, is kind of looked at the fear and looked at like the core of the fear. Like, why am I scared? Why does this make me upset? Why does this keep me from doing this? And when I did that and I looked at it all, I realized that like they were the most like silly things that held me down, and a lot of the things are triggered from past pains that made me feel insignificant. So I'm gonna go off camera real quick, put on my wings and put on my mascara, and I'll be right back. There we go. So let's see, I need to put on my blush and then I'm done. So I want to ask you guys though, if there has been a time when you have used love and what that has done for you or for someone else, and if you have ever used fear, or if people have used fear on you, and what that has done for you or for someone else. Because I am curious. I would like to see if it's only me that notices this, or if I am completely wrong and that maybe there's something that I'm not understanding. I guess I get really sad when I see posts from my friends on Facebook and they post things like that they aren't worthy of X, Y, and Z, and that they are so whatever the negative thing is. I have wondered, because I used to think in that same mindset, like I would never think of myself in love, and I don't know if these women are thinking of themselves in fear, or if it's just like, you know, like they feel slumped down and so they're just voicing that. But like, what would happen to us if we looked at ourselves with love and in love for others? You know, I wonder just how different things would be, at least in our little world. And then if everyone else copied that mindset of moving forward in love, what could that do to everyone around us, and could that spread? Because we always are living in fear, and that is spreading. Fear is spreading all over this world. So like, if we were to change it up a little bit and move forward in love, I just wonder how life would be. Let's see, take out my clip. I think I'm done. I don't know if I'm going to put on any lipstick. I think I'm going to ditch out on lipstick today. Just with chapstick. So that is it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I would love to know what your thoughts are, what's on your mind. Put it all down below. The one thing I want to create here in this little community is a judgment-free zone. I know I say that a lot to like my friends. I'm a teacher, so I say that to my students a lot too. This is a judgment-free zone. And I want you to know that you're coming to a safe place and a safe haven of sorts when you come to me. And that I won't judge you for the things that you think or feel, and that I believe that everyone has, if they truly turn inward, a good heart, and that we can all see the good in others if we just try. If we are trying our best, you know, I think we're doing good. Granted, if we're hurting other people, we're doing things that are deliberately hurting other people, I do have a little bit of an issue with that one. You know, but I do understand too that hurt people, and that healed people heal people. And so I just want you guys to know that I love you, and that I hope you can love yourself, and that you can move forward in love, and to stop the cycle of living in fear, or living that the mental thought that you are only so good, and that you're only good enough to an extent. We should be able to move forward and grow to the highest potential that we feel is best within us. I feel like I was preaching. Was I preaching? I hope I wasn't talking at you. Like, I don't like to talk at people. I like to talk to people. So, anyways, y'all have a good day. I'll catch you on the flip. Bye, guys.